Yo. Oh. Alright. So we're out here in Ohio, coming back towards Gary, Indiana, back towards the terminal. And I've only been gone from home for about, is this the third day? One, two, yeah, this is the third day right here. And man, how do I want to start this off? Basically, I've been thinking the last couple of days about what do you want to call it? Like basically just this job in general. And I mean, I'm not here to lie to you. I've had some weird thoughts in the past couple of days, like what else would I want to do besides this job? And hold up. Grab me some coffee. What else would I want to do besides this job? And the answer to that question is very simple. And it's nothing. There's, every time I think about that, it's like, nah, I can't even think of something else that I would rather do. But at the same time, I see other people doing jobs, and I run into people all the time that are just working at a shipper, a receiver. They're on a forklift. They're the office people. They're doing whatever, what have you. And I'm like, would I want to do that? And every time the answer is, nah, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, it just doesn't seem like such a, what do you want to call it? Like such a stress-free life as how trucking is. And I mean, trucking is not stress-free. Let's not get crazy. And I mean, I'm going to explain the last couple of days to you, and you'll understand what I'm talking about, how this is sort of up and down and all around sort of thing. But I was like, man, like, this is just so stress-free. Like, there's people out here that, like, what they do is they'll, be working a normal job, and they're like, man, I'm just sick of this, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just quit the rat race, and I'm going to go be a trucker. And that's like what people do. Or they retire, and they come be a trucker. And to me, that is absolutely hilarious. But it makes perfect sense, because this is just an interesting job like that. But yeah, I was also thinking about, how we get paid in this industry and how other people get paid. And I mean, most other people are getting paid for, working hard and busting ass. But for us in this industry, I mean, I'll speak on my behalf. I can't speak for everyone else, but there's not much busting ass to be had. For me, the most work that I'm going to be doing in a single day is maybe unloading and reloading. God dang, that sun is bright. Whew, okay. But that's about as hard of work as you're going to get. And the rest of the day, you're just kind of sitting down and trying to maintain sanity and a good state of mind while you're driving around. It's really that simple. So other people are getting paid for working hard, and I feel like in this industry we're getting paid to control our minds, more or less. Like, it's not a thing about how strong you are physically. It's more of a thing about how strong you are mentally, and the strongest people mentally are going to make it the best in this industry. that's just my conclusion that I've come to here. But I'll give you my perfect example of what I'm talking about right here. God dang. This thing got turned green? What are we doing? Whatever. But anyways, so I come out of the house. That was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah, it's Saturday today. It was Thursday. And they had called me, dispatch. They had called me on Wednesday at about 5 o'clock. And they were like, "Are you still good to come out tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yep, it's all good." Excuse me. And basically the reason they asked me that is because I actually technically had 2 days home that I could have stuck around if I wanted to, but I was already sick of being home after the 3 days of the actual week. I made it to Wednesday, and I was like, God dang, like I'm just sick of it, and I'm getting the heck out of here. Make a little lane change right here. There we go. That's the one. And so they were like, okay, well we got an oversized load, not too far away from you. We want you to go pick that up, and I've heard that one before, and it didn't work out. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure you do. And I was just planning, I'm gonna get something totally stock coming out of the state, and it's gonna be whatever. I don't really care either way, but I do like oversized loads a lot. And the last one that I got, I had a pilot car and all this stuff, blocking for me and letting me know, what's happening behind me and all this good stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool, like the teamwork aspect of it. And I'm not here to lie to you. I kind of enjoyed being the what do you want to call it? Like not the guy in charge, but like, because it was a joint, in chargeness. I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of felt good to be the guy that's like being watched over or whatever, I guess. But this oversized load that I did end up getting was not something like that. And it only was oversized by about 4 feet, 5 feet off the back of the trailer, and I just drove it normally, and there's no complications with anything like that. You don't have to do anything crazy. The other oversized load that I had was like 15 feet off the back of the trailer, and that was a little bit strange. You had to pay attention a little bit more to what you're doing and think about, where that trailer's going to swing off, or where that load's going to swing off to, and make sure you aren't throwing that thing into somebody's grill as you're making a right-hand turn, you know what I mean? So it's kind of fun, and I like that aspect of it. But I got that load, and it's just a cool feeling to have, the beacons on, you got all the flags out. It's just kind of cool, because you don't, especially at my company, that's kind of rare to have an oversized load. So I just liked it. So I was running all day on Thursday after I got that load, and it was hunky-dory, you know what I mean? Like that first day out after being home for a while is kind of like getting readjusted, and you aren't used to doing 500 something miles. You kind of got out of the swing of that. So that's kind of what that day was just getting back into the swing of how things operate. And I ended up about, what the heck was it? It wasn't that far. It was like 40 miles away from where I was delivering. And woke up in the morning, went over there, delivered. I do believe that I was early, which was nice. And then when I got there, now this is the part that you know, I'm gonna kind of explain how you need that strong mental state in this game. Is I got there, got unloaded, and they sent me another load, and I was, you know, that's normal. And I was picking up from the same place I just delivered at, and I was like, okay, that's kind of strange, but you know, no deadhead, that's kind of nice. And the load was like 100 miles or something like that, and it was going to a different drop yard that we have in Cleveland. And so I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. You know, maybe I'm just going up there and there's, you know, something there that they need moved towards somewhere else, and, you know, what have you. You know, I don't really care. So I loaded the stuff up, got it looking kosher, and got it to that drop yard. And I mean, it was no big deal. And then when I got there, they were like, pick up an empty trailer and go pick up another load. And was it at that point I was like, God dang? No, I don't think so. At that point I was like, you know, okay, I guess I gotta go just get another load, and it's not the end of the world. It was only, and this is what I have right now, it's only steel bars. So, you know, that's easy stuff. You just throw a couple straps and wind them around the thing and do this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, okay, like, it's not going to be the end of the world. And the place that I went to, I've actually been to before, and, you know, it was early morning when I went there last time, and they got me out of there, you know, very quickly. There was no one there, so it was really nice. But I got there this time, and I was waiting for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before they even thought about loading me. And then when they were thinking about loading me, I was sitting there for, let's just call it a half hour. I was just kind of sitting there while this guy was running around trying to gather up my load, or what have you. I don't exactly know what he was doing. It seemed like he was just rearranging the yard or whatever, but, you know, I was kind of like, man, this is sort of weird, and, you know, it's whatever. And then it started to get windy, started to rain a little bit, and I'm like, all right, this is starting to get a little shaftier. I don't like this, but, you know, it is what it is. This is exactly what I signed up for right here. You know, working in whatever conditions you need to be working in. So I'm like, okay, fine, we'll deal with it. And I don't know if this guy just didn't know what he was doing, or if he just didn't care, or if he wanted to take up as much time with every truck that he got so he didn't have to do so many trucks, or what, but he loaded me very, very strangely. I've gotten a lot of steel bar loads, and they'd never take the amount of time that it took this guy to figure out where to put all my stuff in. I mean, it's pretty much loaded like crap, but the important part was it got on my trailer, and, you know, I secured it, and I was going to get the heck out of there. And, well, I mean, that's kind of minor, but guy pulled up behind me. I mean, I'll just tell you all about it. But a guy pulled up behind me, and he actually noticed that one of my steel bars wasn't tight up against the rest of the load. And I did not even notice this beforehand, because this guy was like smashing these bars into the wood blocks that you put in between them, so that there's a little gap in there so they can unload them with a chain. Basically, they need that little space to wind that chain around there, so you put the wood blocks there. And he was smashing up against these wood blocks, so I was like, there's no way that there's any gaps here, like, we're good to go. But this guy did notice that, and we actually got that figured out and, put back where it needs to go, which is really nice. I mean, that stuff happens all the time where there's still guys that are willing to help you out and, what the heck is that? That sounds weird. But, yeah, there's guys like that are willing to help you out, and, like, I think he had been doing it for, like, 3 years or whatever, but he said, like, man, I just noticed the weirdest stuff sometimes, and I just had to say something, and I was like, well, I'm dang glad that you did, man, because that would have been no good if I would have just ran off like that. Flash that guy over. You welcome. And then I got to tarping, and I mean it's steel bars. So these things are like 20 feet long and like 2 feet high, and they span the width of the trailer. So we're talking about some easy work right here. 2 steel tarps, tarp them down, and you're out of there. And so I get to doing this, and I just kind of pull off to the side and try and get out of the way best that I can and all that. And they had a tarping station, but the guy that was in the tarping station was taking too long for me. Like, he looked like he still had some stuff to do, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna get to tarping and see if I get yelled at or not. And I did not get yelled at, so I just did it. And stuff like that, I mean, I don't know. It's like a safety third thing or whatever. I don't know. That's how I think about it. Is like lots of other places don't even have stuff like that, and like I'm a pretty cautious person already, so I'm not gonna be getting hurt or something like that. We don't need to do any of that. But yeah, so I got my first tarp up there, and I'm just kind of bungeeing this guy down, and I see another truck pulling up behind me, and I'm like, all right, like, he's just gonna have to pull off to the side and do whatever his do what he's got to do. And he stops behind me, and he starts giving me the city horn, like giving me a bump bump, and well, actually, maybe you don't know. Semi-trucks have 2 horns. They have a city horn, which is basically a car horn, and then they have the air horn, which is the semi-truck horn. And he's giving me the little car horn, like, I'm being nice, and like I just want you to pay attention to whatever I'm doing. And so I kind of look back, and he's giving me the like, trucker, what the heck are you doing look. Arms out to the side, up in the air, and like, what are you doing, dude? Like, get the heck out of the way. And I mean, to his credit, I was kind of in the way. I did not mean to be, but that was just kind of the reality of the situation. So I'm like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm just gonna move out of the way. Like, try and get out of this dude's way, because I'm not trying to, like, be a dick or something. I'll just try my hardest to get out of this dude's way. So I pulled up a little bit, and he got around me. And I mean, at this point, I'm not here to lie to you, I was pissed. All this stuff added up into one. The unload, the reload, the relay to reloading, and the rain, the shipper screwing with us and not getting us loaded in a timely fashion, and the guy just kind of moseying around, and now this dude's honking at me, and I'm like, oh man, this is just ridiculous. I can't believe this is happening. And so I pull up, and I mean, I just went back to what I was doing. And then another guy pulls up, and and I guess he wanted to go the same place that I was sitting at. So I'm like, you know, I'm just sitting there. He's behind me. He tries to come up, and he gives me the city horn twice, and then he gives me the air horn twice. And I look back like, what the hell do you want? And I do the trucker, what the hell do you want, hands in the air sort of thing at him, and he gives me that thing back, and I'm like, what do you? And he starts giving me the whole like this number. He starts like waving me around and all that. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're just waving me around. What do you? Like, you don't have to be where I am right now. Like, I'm out of the way. And so I pull up again for this guy, or it's not the same guy, but, and I don't think he knew about the other guy, but I pull up and I stop, and then I get out of the truck, and he gives me the air horn again, you know, bam, bam, and I'm like, what? You know, I pulled up to where the guy before me was blocking me at, and then he goes for where I was, and he's like, nah, I'm not sitting here. So, of course, at this point, I'm furious. And, well, I'm not furious. Like, I'm going to run up there and pull this dude out of his truck or something. Like, I'm not doing that ever, but I'm just saying, like, you know, eventually it got to that point. But he's giving me the trucker, what the hell are you doing thing again. And I'm like, fine, like, I'll just completely move areas away from you. And so I pull out and go to a completely different area, all sorts of pissed off, and I'm just steaming at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so freaking mad. Like, I can't believe the level of disrespect out here. Like, it's just ridiculous. I can't believe that these dudes are just, you know, so frustrated with all of this. And here's what I think. This is my, what do you want to call it? My theory about it is that all of these guys had the exact same experience as I did at this shipper. And, you know, it just took forever to get in there, took forever to get loaded, and they all probably had that same experience. So now they come out the gate and they're pissed. They're absolutely pissed because they had 3 hours of their time wasted, and it should not take that long to, you know, get everyone in there, get them loaded, get them out. It shouldn't take that long. But, you know, now everyone's just fuming and they're honking at people, and I'm just the guy that's receiving the horn or whatever. So eventually, you know, all the rain happens, and you know, I got all my tarps situated, and I was like, man, you know, my tarps don't look good at all, but I was like, that's good enough for me right now. Like, I'm just, as I said, I'm not in a friendly mind state right now. I'm kind of just looking to get the hell out of here. And so I go back to my truck, and what did my dumb ass do? I leave the window wide open in the rain. Idiot. So my seat's wet, my steering wheel's all wet. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this too. When I was fueling diesel, and this is a dead straight rookie move right here. I was fueling my diesel, and somehow, some way, I sprayed this diesel at the wrong angle, and it came right back and just sprayed all over my jeans, just all over it. So I've been riding around all day, smelling like diesel. Now my seat's wet, and my pants are wet, and of course that makes the diesel smell worse. And oh man, it was a rough day. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it to whatever the hell spot is close by, and I'm shutting it down. I'm going to take a shower. I'm gonna feel nice, and I'm gonna fall asleep at 9 o'clock at night like a doctor and get a good night's sleep. And that's exactly what I did. And I mean, I was just, the night was shot. The whole day was shot. And I was like, man, I'm just done with it. And I was so tired that I didn't even bother turning off my sleeper light the whole night. Didn't even bother. I mean, I just passed out, and I was like, I'm done. This is over with. I'll wake up when, my best friend here wakes me up, which is, little screaming meanie. And he woke me up at 5 in the morning, and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, coming towards Gary, and now I got a load coming from Gary going to North Carolina over the rest of the weekend, so I guess it worked out or whatever, but yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I mean, that's just what I'm talking about, is like, you can feel like this industry is one of those things where, I mean, in other jobs it doesn't seem like that, where you're just like feeling like, oh man, like this is just the best of all time, and then like literally a couple hours later you can be like, man, like I should just quit and see if I can like qualify for freaking disability or something. Like, I'm just done. You just get the feeling like I don't want to do nothing ever again, like this is stupid. But then, a couple hours later, a day later, you could be getting a load in North Carolina, and you're like, okay, like this is fine. Like, I don't know. I just try and maintain this steady mind state of like absorbing the highs and not letting the lows get me down too far. Like, that's just how I kind of do this thing, and I don't know, it seems to work. No, I didn't punch anyone in the face yesterday. I was feeling it. Well, okay, I'm not here to lie to you. I don't think I would ever punch anyone in the face, but I was definitely feeling like walking back to their truck and being like, what the hell do you want me to do, my man? Like, I just want to get out of your way. Like, I'm sick of you honking at me. Like, where do you want me to go? Like, just, I don't know. That's like as far mad as I would ever get about anything out here. But anyways, that's pretty much a wrap. I don't know. Y'all can think about it. But I'm going to get the heck out of here. Enjoy the good old 80. And enjoy my little cruise on to North Carolina. That'll be nice. So yeah, I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.